Hello everyone, Vincent here and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to talk about rotation rewards. With my two previous videos, we've talked about rotation rewards and briefly explained what the rotation rewards are for excavation and disruption missions. Today we're going to dive into the rotation rewards and how rotation works in all mission types. Before we begin, we need to talk about what drop tables are. This should be pretty obvious in its general knowledge, but just to recap, drop tables or loot tables is a term used to group items that you can get from doing specific things and the probability of you getting that item. For example, each enemy in Warframe has their own drop tables that varies from their levels and variants. An elite lancer will drop different loot from a Drekar lancer, thus both of these enemies have different drop tables from each other. Of course, in coding, it isn't a literal table, but representing it as a table is the easiest way to interpret it. Now, a rotation in Warframe is a term used to define what specific drop table the game will choose from to reward players based on certain conditions. The game has three rotations, A, B, and C. In this context, you can see that the game chooses from loot table A, loot table B, and loot table C, thus calling it rotation A, B, and C. In most endless missions, the rotation goes from A, B, C, and then goes back to A, then A again, then B, C, and so on and so forth. Staying long enough in an endless mission to get all the rotations is called a full rotation, and thus the rewards you get from these rotations are called rotation rewards. Each mission tier also has a different rotation rewards. In general, missions on Earth, Venus, Mercury, Mars, Phobos, and Ceres are tier 1, those on Jupiter, Europa, and Saturn are tier 2, and missions on Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, and Sedna are tier 3. Endless missions are not the only mission types to have rotations, however. Spy missions rotation is determined by the number of vaults that you have opened. The first vault opened will reward you with items from rotation A, the second vault from rotation B, and the third vault from rotation C. The vault name doesn't correspond to its rotation. Opening Vault C only will yield you with rotation A rewards since you have only opened one vault. In the same note, the various parts and main blueprints are all acquired from rotation C from spy missions of varying mission tiers, which means that you need to open 3 vaults every time if you want to get the chance of getting her parts. Resource caches from most sabotage missions and a few exterminate missions also work the same way. The first resource cache will contain rotation A rewards, the second will be rotation B, and the third will be rotation C. The Granum Void has its own rotations, termed rank in-game, and is determined by how many specters you have killed during the time limit. Rank 1 requires you to kill 25 specters, Rank 2 requires 50 kills, and Rank 3 requires 75 kills. Each rank adds another 25 required kills for each member there is in your squad. And as with Ivara, Proteus parts are acquired from rank 3 of each mission tiers of the Granum Void, which means you need to kill the maximum amount of specters to get the chance of getting her parts. Now let's talk about how rotation works in endless missions. In defense missions, rotations cycle through intervals of 5 waves. Reaching 5 waves will give you rewards from rotation A. The same goes to 10 waves because of the AABC rotation. 15 waves will give you rotation B, and 20 waves will give you rotation C. Survival missions work kind of similar, but instead of an interval of 5 waves, it's an interval of 5 minutes. The 5 and 10 minute mark gives rotation A reward, 15-minute mark gives rotation B reward, and the 20-minute mark gives rotation C reward. When it comes to interception missions, rotation cycles per round. The first and second rounds of interception will be rotation A, third round will be rotation B, and the fourth round will be rotation C. Similarly, Infested Salvage gives rotation rewards every time you decode a manifest, and follows the same pattern as Interception. We have already talked about this in my endo farming video, but excavation missions work similarly to Interception and Infested Salvage missions as well. Just to recap, the first and second successful excavation will be rotation A, the third will be rotation B, and the fourth will be rotation C. Defection missions require you to escort 2 squads of defectors for the rotation to cycle, which means 2 and 4 squads will give you rotation A rewards, 6 squads will give you rotation B, and 8 squads will give you rotation C. The Sanctuary Onslaught and at the same time the Elite Sanctuary Onslaught works similarly with Defection, but instead of squads, it's reaching specific zones. Reaching zones in an interval of 2 will give you rotation rewards. Reaching zones 2 and 4 will give rotation A rewards, reaching zone 6 will give you rotation B rewards, and reaching zone 8 will give rotation C rewards. And finally, Disruption. This fairly new mission type works quite differently from other endless mission types when it comes to rotations. It still follows the rotation types of A, B, and C, but the way the rotation cycle is a bit different. You'd think by now that it would have something like rotation A for 2 conduits protected, rotation B for 3 conduits, so on and so forth, something of a similar pattern with other endless missions. I sure did until the last few months when I found out that it's different from other endless missions. Rotations are determined by both round progression and round performance when it comes to disruption missions. In round 1, protecting 1 to 3 conduits will give you rotation A, while protecting all 4 conduits will give you rotation B rewards. In round 2, protecting only 1 to 2 conduits will give you rotation A, and protecting 3 to 4 conduits will give you rotation B. In round 3, protecting 1 conduit gives you rotation A, protecting 2 to 3 conduits will give you rotation B, and protecting all 4 conduits give you rotation C. And finally, in round 4 and all other rounds thereafter, protecting 2 conduits give rotation B rewards, while protecting 3 or 4 conduits give rotation C. And yes, it is exactly as what you think. Doing one more than the required conduit will forfeit a certain rotation reward. In round 1, doing 4 conduits will forfeit the rotation A reward and will give you the rotation B reward instead. However, Disruption was introduced to the game to add a mission type that doesn't reset its rewards after a full rotation. Thus, players can get the rotation rewards they want quicker, since the most useful stuffs are in rotation C. This is most useful when farming Axie relics as opposed to the previous method of completing 4 rounds of Interception in Zany Ares just to get 1 Axie relic. With a full squad, you can complete 1 round of Disruption in less than 5 minutes, ideally anyways. The rest of the mission types that was not mentioned here does not have any rotations and just have 1 specific drop table for each mission tier after clearing them. Now let's talk about Arbitrations. I've mentioned this in my end of farm video. Even though Arbitrations will always be endless missions, it doesn't follow the standard AABC rotation. Instead, it has its own rotation type of AABB and will continue to give rotation C rewards for the subsequent rotations. For example, after wave 20 of an arbitration defense, you will be receiving rotation C rewards for the rest of the mission. Arbitration Disruption, however, still uses the original rotation type and does not follow the AABBC rotation of Arbitrations. And that's pretty much it for rotations. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. Subscribe for more videos like this, it really helps the channel out a lot. I also haven't been playing much Warframe this past few days. I'm currently busy playing Genshin Impact. And yes, expect to see a video talking about that game in the future, so stay tuned. Thank you all so much for watching and I'll see you in the next video.